Let's do this, the Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I am David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here today with Kurt Leavins. Welcome, Kurt.
Hello, David. How are you after that one tonight?
We both had the same comment about Edmonton's 9-4 victory over the Kraken. We've been waiting for this a long time, a blowout. Finally.
Yep.
Finally. Oh. Every game, it's like you're just stressed, right? Because it's so close. But this one was not. It was close for a while.
Yeah, and Seattle's a good defensive team, right? Their numbers show that, but they didn't have an answer for the Oilers tonight.
Whew. Yeah, the Oilers have been playing better as of late, Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
Some better defensive hockey, generally speaking. And I think they were kind of rewarded, although, there were a few defensive breakdowns tonight. But I think they were rewarded for some of the good habits they've been building up and came out and won this. 2 good things, 2 bad things, and 2 numbers, Kurt. And because this is such a blowout, 2 good things each. What is your first good thing?
My first good thing is the fact that the Oilers were feeling it tonight. And so you alluded to that right off the top, that we've been kind of waiting for a game like this this year. For a team that, it's absolutely essential that the Oilers defend well to give themselves a chance to get into the playoffs and get back to where they were the last 2 years. But let's call a spade a spade. This team will win on its offense. They may lose on their defense, but they'll win on their offense. That's their biggest weapon. And the fact that they just haven't been feeling it this year is odd, because for the last 5 years, they've been one of the elite offensive teams in the NHL. These guys didn't just forget how to shoot and stick handle, right? There's a lot of gifted players on this team. So to see them blow the doors off Seattle tonight, and look, I wish no ill will towards the Kraken. But for the Oilers to have that mojo, to have that feeling, to have that confidence again, when offense is such a huge part of your game, is really important. 11 different Oilers hit the score sheet tonight. Multiple players with multi-point games. You have to hope that after this game, they don't, throw up another 1-0. That, in other words, that this carries over, that this gives them some juice going forward. But yeah, it's a good sign for a team that relies so much on its puck play in and around the net.
Yeah, 9 goals. Man, they needed 9 goals. So far this year, Kurt, they came into this game averaging 3 goals for and 3.5 against. And their grade A shot differential is heading into this game was minus 0.8 per game.
Yeah.
So unlike the other bad starts that they've had in recent years, where they had a positive grade A shot differential, which really said there was a good signal they were going to rebound and become a good team. Mm-hmm. There has not been that good signal this year, and they've been playing really mediocre hockey, and with no strong signal they were going to break out of it. Maybe some better defensive play, but
there'd be a spurt here and a spurt there, right?
Yeah. So it's been pretty discouraging, and I have questions about a team like this, but the fact that they made the Stanley Cup playoffs 2 years running after bad starts, kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt. And tonight they finally. I don't know if they turned a corner, but they've got to have games like this. This is the Oilers. This is how they dominate teams. They had 22 grade A shots to 13 for the Kraken.
Holy.
The 5 alarm shots were much closer, 11 to 10 for the most dangerous shots. Although the Kraken, I think, put a couple off the post, maybe 3 off the post, actually. So they had a lot of good chances, the Kraken, in tight. But the Edmonton had by far the most the dangerous shots. And my first good thing will be Mattias Savoie, who really needed to have a good game.
We were just saying this about him last podcast, right?
I was, and Craig McTavish echoed it. He said the same thing in the intermission after Savoie had scored one of his 2 goals. He says he really needed to score. You can't play on a top line if you don't score. And I know many people have been super enthusiastic about Savoie, and cheering him on. I'm cheering him on, but he hadn't scored nearly enough or put up nearly enough points to stick on the top line. Well, tonight, this is going to help. They came on special teams, not at even strength, but he was dangerous all night, and he looked like he picked up confidence as the night went on. I think it's kind of a missing element of his game. He's not like Jack Roslovic coming in super confident. Maybe a little with a chip on his shoulder. Roslovic, he wants to show what he's got.
Yeah,
and he's gonna do it. He's made up his mind. He's decided he's gonna put up some points here and make some plays and get a big contract. Savoie's kind of like, ooh, I don't know. That's how it strikes me. Am I gonna make it? Am I not gonna make it? But he's got to decide to make it. And tonight, was a big step in that regard. He had an early breakaway where he didn't score. It seemed like more of the same.
Mm-hmm.
But then he got another breakaway and just made a beautiful move.
Yeah.
He faked a wrist shot totally. Decord fell right on his face, like Stuart Skinner, like I hate to say. But and then Savoie taked him out and put it in. It was a beautiful deke, and I don't know what Seattle fans were thinking of Joey Decord after the game. He didn't strike me as being horrible in this game, but he was pulled, I think, after the sixth goal.
Wasn't after the fifth, because McDavid's goal.
You're right, after
McDavid's goal was the fifth. It's the one that went 5-hole, right? So
yeah.
I
also want to point out with Savoie on the second goal, and these are the goals that are really important in any game, like that becomes a blowout. Like the goals that the further you go along, it becomes less important. But on the second goal, on Podkolzin's fantastic goal, he busted in hard on the forecheck, really hard, and because of that, the puck had to be shot up the boards super fast.
Yeah,
and because of that, Mattias Ekholm was able to pinch down and win a battle on the boards, and eventually goes around. The puck is passed around to Draisaitl, who feeds Podkolzin for just a fantastic shot. But it all starts off with Matt Savoie's hustle.
Mm-hmm.
He gets on the 5-on-3. I think it was still 5-on-3 late in the game. He gets Adam Henrique makes a brilliant play in the crease on an outside shot. It's up for battle, and he puts it over to Savoie, who hammers it in for the second goal. Outstanding game from Savoie. I gave him a 9 out of 10. He was really solid on defense as well. And did the Oilers ever need that? And did Savoie ever need that? And it's interesting, between periods, Bob Stauffer of the Oilers essentially guaranteed that Savoie, unlike Broberg and Holloway, will not be leaving town on a blunder, on an own goal by Oilers management, that the Oilers are going to make sure to lock him up. And
talk about a bridge, right?
With a bridge contract. So
yeah, our friend Bob tends to not say that stuff unless he knows something.
This was like 100% Bob. It's in the, it's all but inked. Now, if Savoie keeps scoring like this, maybe they'll wait a little bit. But I don't think that's how they work. Like,
Yeah. I just want to talk a little bit about how Savoie got here. Now, the Oilers didn't draft him, but you can argue that they developed him, or at least finished developing him. And I just think it's a great lesson how they sent him to the AHL, which too many players, fans, etc. see as a punishment, but gave him a huge opportunity to play in all circumstances. Killed lots of penalties for Bakersfield last year. In the second half, really caught fire offensively, but always played a key role on their PK. So now, this year, when he makes the club, this is a guy who's got a pro track record for playing 5-on-4 hockey, right? So now he's not going to come up to the Oilers and play, 5-6 minutes a night like Coward was. He can get in comfortably into the double digits, because not only is he getting 5-on-5 time, but he's getting a little bit of secondary power play time, but he's a regular on the kill and an effective member on the kill. That decision last year to develop Matt Savoie the way the club did turned him into the player we see today. And I would argue he wouldn't be having this kind of impact like he was tonight had he not taken all the steps that he did last season.
Yeah. I always wondered and why, for instance, Jesse Puljujärvi, when he was in the HL, didn't kill penalties regularly. A big guy, big rangy guy. Maybe they felt he didn't have the hockey sense, but I just think that was selling him short.
Yep.
And that if Puljujärvi had that in his repertoire, I think he'd still be in the NHL, because if you're like a third or a fourth line guy and you don't score a lot, let's say you're a 10 goal scorer, which I think Puljujärvi probably is in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
But he does forecheck hard. Like he gets in there, forecheck. He defends okay. So there might be a role for him, but not if he can't penalty kill.
Yeah.
And so you're making a good point here. Yamamoto did penalty kill. They did have him on the kill. He wasn't a particularly good penalty killer. And I'm going to suggest the jury's still out whether Mattias Savoie is going to be a really good penalty killer or not. He has, I think, one advantage over Yamamoto. I think he's faster. I think he's a touch faster than Yamamoto was. And he's a little bit bigger. Maybe that little bit bigger and a little bit faster is just enough, because Yamamoto was close on the PK, but I'm hoping that he does.
I'd say Mattias Savoie is just a little bit better than Kurt Yamamoto at a lot of things, which is why he's a better NHL player. And that's no criticism of Yamamoto, who I had lots of time for. But I think Savoie does have a lower center of gravity. I think he is a little more solid. I think he is a little faster. I think he has a higher hockey IQ. And two things make good penalty killers: a willingness to put in the work and the smarts to know where to go and when. And it just looks like Savoie has both of those ingredients.
Kurt Yamamoto is back in the NHL this year, by the way. I just checked. He's played 20 games with the Utah Mammoth after spending 54 games in the AHL last year, 12 in the NHL last year, but 54 in the AHL last year, where he put up 56 points in 54 games. So he's clearly like an elite AHL player. But 6 points, 3 goals in 20 games for Utah. So he's hanging in there, and it's good to see. He had such a great start for the Oilers, 26 points in 27 games in 2019-20.
Yep.
He looked like, man, they just hit it big. And then he got injured, and injuries, and it added up, and he became less effective here.
Yep.
So,
and that's a risk for players of his size, right? It's a tough league, right?
For players any size, yeah. Like it's a hard game, and it's a tough league for sure. Good to see him back. Kurt, what is your second good thing?
My second good thing is Connor McDavid. And while Connor certainly didn't have the perfect game tonight, and I know we'll talk about that, a lot has been made about Connor McDavid's offensive game this year. That seems a little bit counterintuitive when you consider he's in top 3 in NHL scoring, and he's putting up his points. Like, what's the problem, Leavins? Well, I think it's obvious to anybody who watches the Oilers on a regular basis that this hasn't been peak Connor McDavid this year.
That's true.
Right? It's not been quite there, and I've been trying to put my finger on why it might be. Is it because he just has played 2 really long seasons back to back? I think there's merit in that possibility. Did the whole contract situation throw him off a little bit more than even he thought it would? I think that's a possibility. Whatever the case may be, he just hasn't been himself. And more to the point, he's been really reluctant to just shoot the damn puck. And I think he criticized himself after the last game to say that, he was looking off good chances for maybe a better chance instead of just taking the sure thing. Tonight, I thought he was shooting the puck. And I thought at least 2 of his 3 goals went in just because he was willing to put the puck on the net. I mean, one of them he scored from the wall, right? So a hat trick for McDavid, which was I believe his 13th career NHL hat trick. But you know what? I think it's inevitable that the points and the goals were going to come. But if Connor McDavid is feeling it, looks confident, is willing to shoot the puck when he sees an opportunity, look out opposition, because he just got way more dangerous than he's been to this point in the season.
Yeah, that one where he had the wide open net there. Yeah, the goalie bit on Nuge's and just flew out of the net, which we've seen in the Oilers net sometimes, where they overreact to a shot and get fly out of the net, and McDavid just pounded it in. It was a thing of beauty. His first goal, I loved.
Yeah, me too.
This is a very, very difficult shot for a goalie to stop when someone's moving across the front of the net, across the slot area, and then shoots. You don't know where it's going to go when you're the goalie. It's almost like a backhand shot where you don't know it's going to go. So it had that aspect. I mean, he eagled across the ice, and to see, Cale Makar can do that. A great skater like Makar is constantly doing the eagle.
Great
which
comparison.
Is when you put your skates out like this and try doing that in a game. Most players would fall flat on their face. But he is at least under pressure. He's in the slot under pressure, and he makes just a beautiful shot. And again, that one, Kurt, was Zach Hyman got in on the forecheck, and Nuge got in on the forecheck, and again I think there was a pinch from Ekholm as well involved there as well, and it just added up to a great goal, like a really nice goal. I can't remember what was this other one. Was it on the power play?
The other one was the one that he shot from the wall.
Well, he shot from the wall. He shot the eagle goal. What was the third one?
6-3 goal. The third goal was well, both of them were kind of off the wall, right? So, because the last one was the one from Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins.
Oh, there's a power play one. Oh yeah, that was the one with the Decor got pulled on, where he came down the left side.
Decor played the pass.
Decor was certain he was either going to pass it to the high slot or pass it to Draisaitl. And he just opened up his legs and boom, right in there. Good, what a great goal that was by McDavid.
Yeah, that's a good point, because that may have looked like a bad goal, but it wasn't.
I didn't think so either, Kurt.
No.
I mean, he got beat. Like, the goalie got fooled, so he made a mistake.
Yeah,
but it's very human.
Very
human
good players get beat by good plays sometimes, and that doesn't mean they're bad players, right? Yeah.
So McDavid is tied for second now in NHL scoring, behind only Nathan MacKinnon. MacKinnon has 46 points in 27 games. He's plus 32. McDavid has 40 points in 28 games. He is minus 6. And Kurt, I'm going to suggest that the problems with Connor McDavid this year have been mostly in his own end. That he's been the weakest center on the Oilers defensively. And he's been much weaker than he has in the 3 or 4 previous seasons. He was consistently raising his game and making better plays, and I don't know what it is, Kurt, but his defensive play this year has fallen off pretty dramatically. And we'll talk about his play in detail tonight in a moment, but that's what I see, and I don't know why. Burnout could be one thing. I mean, it's just hard to know. So many of the Oilers, Kurt, though, like defensively, have been a mess. Yeah, it's not just McDavid. It's been most of the good players on the team have fallen apart at the seams on defense. So I just think I think burnout is a fairly decent explanation, but it doesn't matter. You got to get it done. This team isn't going to win if they don't.
I agree with you. That it doesn't matter and that it's got to get done. 100%. I'm right with you.
Yeah.
One thing I know, though, about defensive play is that it is harder work and it's less fun.
Yeah.
And so if you've been through too long, just about as long of a postseason as you can be through, right? Back to back, and now back here again you are in the fall, is the first thing on your mind, I'm really looking forward to back checking. No, it's not. No human would say that. You know what? Maybe Doug Jarvis and Bob Gainey and Don Luce in their prime said, yeah, my favorite thing in hockey is back checking. But for these guys, they're goal scorers, they're playmakers. And I think that when there's a little bit of burnout, the last thing that's going to come probably is the defense. That doesn't make it right, and it's not an excuse, but it might be part of an explanation.
I'm just looking at Macklin Celebrini is tied with McDavid at 40 points, and Bedard is next, fourth at 38th. I hope they bring both those guys to the Olympics. I get a sense that they're not going to bring Bedard, but I hope they bring both of them.
Well, from a pure hockey standpoint and cheering for the young players, I hope they come too. But from the, do you want to win the gold medal or not? I don't think they'll bring both. They might not bring either.
They're going to bring Celebrini.
Well, let's just see, because at the end of the day, what kind of pressure have either of those players played under compared to an Olympic game? None. And that coaching staff is going to want to put players on the ice that they know exactly what to expect from them in those pressure-packed, the entire bloody world is watching situations. Now, I think it would be smart to bring one of them, even if he's an extra forward. But I don't think it's as much of a shoo-in as some people think it is, and that's my reason why.
They could look at the roster of forwards who played last year in the Four Nations, and there was a number of them who did not excel. Mm-hmm. And there was a number of defensemen who didn't excel. I won't go on it about it again because I've gone on it about a lot.
Yep.
That seem like they're shoo-ins on the team, and I don't get it. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Kurt, my second good thing. The game is 4-2. Seattle has miraculously kind of stumbled its way back into the game to get it to 3-2 at the end of the first. Savoie scores. So now the Oilers are foot on the pedal again, 4-2. But they get a penalty, and then Henrique takes a really bad penalty to make it a 5-on-3. It's one of those plays, the old, what's the old hockey standard? Like, you check with your feet, not with your stick. You got to get your feet moving, and his feet were not moving. He was on the wrong side of the player, and he just reached out and tripped him. So it's now a 5-on-3. And the puck goes to the side of the net, and to Jordan Eberle, who is as calm as a cucumber. He's as calm as Evan Bouchard, Jack Roslovic. He's one of those guys, just super cool with the puck. He gets it, and it's like a cobra transfixing his victim, looking at Calvin Pickard. And Pickard just stands there he's down in his crouch, Eberle at the side of the net. And he doesn't move. Pickard doesn't move. And Eberle beats him with the pass right across the crease. And there's a shot on net. It's going in. And Evan Bouchard moves his back skate a little bit and gets it on the trajectory of the puck and makes the save. It is a huge, huge play by Evan Bouchard to stop that goal. Because if it's 4-3, given the fragile state of the Oilers, you just never know, right? They were up 3-0. Now, I'm not getting that iffy sense from the Oilers right now that they're about to give up a goal at any second, like I had almost every other game until recently this season. But that was a fantastic play by Bouchard. And I just want to add, it was the second in a row. He had made an absolutely brilliant pass to send Savoie on his breakaway. Like, these are monster, horror, thriller, chiller, wonder plays by Bouchard under intense pressure. And he pulls them off. And speaking of Team Canada, I really hope he's on it. I think they're nuts not to bring him as the eighth guy in case Makar gets hurt. And he's showing why lately. He's out of his bad spell of play. He was like all the other top Oilers. He was horrible on defense to start the year. He's now out of that spell, and he's playing really strong hockey.
Yeah, he had certainly played himself off Team Canada in the first, 10, 12 games of the season. Well, surely he's played himself back into contention now. But this shouldn't surprise people like you and I who've watched him the last two postseasons, where he's been terrific.
Yeah.
Right? When the chips are down, the toughest hockey of the year, he's been great. And so I don't think you and I for a second thought that those first 12 games were the real Evan Bouchard. I think we just wondered when he was going to pull out of the tailspin.
You can say that till you're blue in the face and people, he gives up the puck too much. And like, if people don't like him, they don't like him. And I think some of the people who don't like him may be on the Team Canada selection committee. But I mean, like Jim Nill's there, right? He's seen Evan Bouchard 2 years in a row eviscerate Dallas, cut Dallas apart with his play. Hopefully he'll have a say. you know, and I I don't know, like it's Armstrong in St. Louis, and he's a good hockey guy, like, but he likes Colton Parayko too. So,
Not sure I trust Doug Armstrong anymore.
well, he made a great hell of a move getting Broberg and Holloway. I'll give him that. Like that was a brilliant masterstroke. That team has fallen apart surprisingly this year. I don't know
Yeah,
what's
karma's
going
a bitch, right?
on. I love that. I hope that's the truth, Kurt. All right, bad thing, Kurt.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to harp on it too much because this was a really positive outcome tonight. The guys feeling their offensive votes was really important. There's a lot of players that broke out, and that really bodes well going forward. But I do want to talk about two defensive miscues that led to goals against. Um, and look, NHL players are going to make mistakes. They're humans just like you and me, even if they're maybe a little less human than we are. They're like
More
superhuman.
human. No,
Um,
less human. Yeah, more superhuman. There we
More
go.
superhuman. Um, but the issue I had with the two mistakes weren't the mistakes themselves. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to give up goals. But I really felt that there was very poor recognition and game management in the moment when they made the mistakes. And to make matters worse, the mistakes were made by the Oilers' two very best players. The first one was on the 3-2 goal. So it's 3-1. The Oilers are in control. This is looking like a laugher. Like Seattle got one, and it's like, yeah, whatever. But you're gonna just get into the intermission 3-1, and you can already see the light at the end of the tunnel and how this game may turn out. But then Leon Draisaitl gets the puck in the really really high slot in the defensive zone, and he gets into a little bit of trouble. Um, and he tries to make a play. And look, I get that you want your most talented players to be creative and try to make plays. But in that moment, when you're that late in a period, when you're that close to heading to the dressing room and you have a 3-1 lead, chip the puck to the boards and live to see another day, right? That's the smart play. If Leon Draisaitl wants to win a Selke, and I think he can someday, that's a play that he has to put to the wall instead of what he did with it. Okay, so there is example number one for me. Example number two for me, it's 6-2. The game is, for all intents and purposes, is over. Connor McDavid is coming out of his own zone. There's a little bit of pressure up the wall. What does he try to do? He tries to make a cute play to it up to Hyman, who's got his back to McDavid and can't see the puck coming. Goes off Hyman, the puck turns around another way. Bing, bang, boom, it's 6-3. Much like the Leon Draisaitl play, if it's 6-2, and at this point, your number one goal should be game management. As soon as Connor McDavid sees that pressure coming up the wall, that puck just needs to be dumped out into the neutral zone. Up off the glass. That's all you need to do in a situation like that. You don't need to win 7-3. 6-3's fine. So, you know what? What the hell? It's December. It's okay now in a game that you win 9-4. But come March, those mistakes are going to cost you dearly. It's all about game management, about recognizing where you are on the ice at any moment in the game and what the right play is under those circumstances. And tonight, our two best players did not make the correct decision in those two circumstances.
Well, Stan Mikita won the Lady Byng Trophy, so maybe Leon Draisaitl can win the Selke one day.
That's a good
Mikita was
point.
a famously rough and dirty player,
And a real stick artist, right?
yeah, and then he turned it around. I think his daughter told him off or something like that, like, "Daddy, why do you do these things?" or something. So there's some story like that that Bruce regaled me once with on this podcast. And anyway, he did win, I think, 2 Lady Bings. Leon won't win the Lady Byng because of plays like that, because of his supreme confidence in reading the play, trying to pick off passes instead of checking people. He'll go for the big steal because he's smart, and because he's offensive minded and super confident. He thinks he can do it, and often he can. But sometimes he can't. And this was a moment of that super confidence, right? I'm just gonna, like, I have the puck in the defensive slot. There's people bearing down on me. I'm just gonna spin and puck protect because that's what I do. That's what Leon Draisaitl does, and that's the glory of Draisaitl.
Is it
the
super confidence or overconfidence?
And the majesty of McDavid is making passes. These guys don't have it in them just to dump the puck in hardly, or to put it off the boards and out, like make the safe play. It's why I wouldn't have them on the ice personally in the last minute of a period or a game. I just think there's better players who are more trained to be defensive stalwarts.
Bobby Orr would chip it off the glass.
I would prefer that they don't go with their best players when they're holding a lead, or where they have to kill off a penalty, because I've seen it too many times. It's just, anyway. I
take your point, but I'd sooner demand more of my best players in those circumstances.
We're 10 years into this. Like, I guess I've kind of given up.
Well, do you want to win or not? And I'm not saying this to you.
I know.
You know,
well,
it's a winner. Right, Kurt. In that Draisaitl play, it's a winner play to chip that to the wall. With the McDavid play, it's a winner play to chip that off the glass.
I agree, Kurt, completely. Yeah. And I guess I've seen them do, like, they are who they are at this point.
Yeah.
And what they are is fantastic, utterly fantastic in so many ways. They both have defensive failings in their own different ways. And, often they can really minimize it. McDavid has been pretty good in the playoffs, especially at minimizing those kinds of mistakes. But if they want, I completely do agree. If they really, really want to win the Stanley Cup, they have to do what you just said they need to do. And I don't know. I have my doubts.
Yeah, I hate to be the fun police, but I just it's the right play at the right time, right? The truth stinks.
Father Truth. All right. Bad things. My bad thing. I'm just going to go with Connor Clattenburg getting hit in the face like that. And I do think it was an accident.
Yep.
I think that if it was on purpose, then that would be horrible. That would be a horrible thing to do to another player. But I think what he was trying to do was lift his stick on the boards, and he missed his stick and smashed him in the face.
I thought so as well.
I watched it, like, when I saw it happen, I wanted to make sure in my own mind before I went off on an uneven keel on Twitter about it. But that's my reading of it. He did not mean to do that. And Clattenburg left the game. I don't know if we've had a report. Probably not. But
I haven't seen one yet.
Yeah.
It looked like it was close to the eye, if not in the eye. What always worries me is when you see the skates kicking on the ice. That's never a good sign.
Yeah. Let me just check. And as I'm checking, Kurt, let's go to your numero.
My numero is 42. And you may go, really? That's
Kurt,
interesting.
I just want to cut in. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Tony Brower of the Oilers reports, Chris Knobloch shares Clattenburg had some stitches above his eye, but he's doing well. So I just thought, in case people were anxious, I needed to cut you off there. Sorry.
No, that's okay. You know what? Let's digress for a moment, because I was playing in a AAA midget tournament, and I caught a stick underneath my shield, and it caught right underneath, this eye, and it right where the eyeball and the socket meet, and I got cut for 5 stitches right above that eye, a 1/4 inch lower, and it would have taken my eye out. So
Jesus.
It's a game of inches in the world's worst way sometimes. So I'm really relieved that the kid is okay under the circumstances.
I wear a full shield now playing hockey. I have since I was in my 20s, and I lost front tooth and a half getting slashed in the face. It ain't worth it, especially for a beer league player. I recommend all beer league players. I marvel at the guys who just wear the half shield, because I've been in the dentist chair since that because of this, like 45 hours, like 50 hours over time. It ain't worth it. And if you're just playing beer league hockey, where I would highly recommend wearing a
Yeah, I
full
think
shield.
the
But
last half dozen years I played hockey, I wore a half shield.
yeah,
And my nose has been broken 4 times, three of them playing hockey with the half shield on. Twice with the stick, once with a puck. So that's how
which
much help that bloody shield is. So
you sound like you're from Saskatchewan, Kurt.
yeah, you should see my brother's noses. They're way worse than mine. Anyway, my number.
Okay, your number. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. My number is 42. It had been 42 NHL regular season games since Mattias Janmark's last goal. But Janmark scored tonight. It made it 7-3 when he put it in. I really wondered if there would be even a spot for Janmark on the team this year. I wondered if he'd be waived. I wonder if he'd
Yeah,
get
me too.
traded in the preseason just to kind of clear the contract and the salary off. And I wasn't wowed by what I saw early on in the season, but you know what? In the last half dozen games or so, I'm starting to see Mattias Janmark good again. His PK work has picked up. His speed, while he's not as fast as he used to be, he's still an above average NHL skater. But what he is smart. So if he's moving his feet okay, he's feeling good, and he's using his head, he's still a useful NHL player. But having said all that, it was a long damn drought in between goals. 42 games, my number 42.
Yeah, just 2 goals last year, and
Mm,
I thought he would be gone.
yeah.
And I think if they could have moved him, they would have.
Mm.
But he's back, and I agree with you, Kurt. Like he's been playing well. Like his defensive play has really picked up, and
Well, your stats show that, don't they?
yeah, they do. He's not.
Yeah.
He's the best defensive winger on the team right now,
Mm.
and it's not that close. So like he's not giving up much. He's playing great defensive hockey, and if he chips in the odd goal, I mean that's a really useful hockey player.
Yes.
So it's really complicating things, like in a good way for the Oilers. There's some real battles up front for playing time, and he's moved ahead, let's say, of Trent Frederick right now,
Mm-hmm.
and Curtis Lazar. He's moved ahead of David Tomasic, so he's earning his keep right now. And I'll segue right into my number because it's 4 out of the 9 goals were scored by bottom 6 players tonight. Well, not bottom 6 players, but the non top guys on the team. So Podkolzin got one on an absolutely thundering executioner shot.
Mm-hmm. Looked like his line mate.
Savoie got a couple, and Janmark got one. So two of these guys were in the top 6. So it's not like the bottom 6 guys, but Savoie and Podkolzin haven't been scoring.
And not
It's
your
just-
elite guys, right?
It's just like the Oilers have been getting crushed without when McDavid and or Draisaitl haven't been on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because it breaks down to about half the time McDavid and or Draisaitl are on the ice, and about half the time they're not. And the Oilers are slightly outscoring the opposition before tonight's game with them on the ice. But they're giving up about the same number of goals without them on the ice. But they only scored like 12 or 13 all season long, and they've given up like 33, I think, or 34 before tonight's game. That is atrocious. Like it's a big part of the problem, that and defensive play, but that's huge. So these guys have got to score. They've got to get scoring, some of these other players. And that happened tonight. It's great to see. Kurt, we've run the gamut on this big game. We'll see what happens next.
Could talk forever when you score 9. It would be easy.
I have another thought. Might have more after this, but I thought Alec Regula played really well.
I agree.
He was very calm with the puck a few times. Once there was a slot play, a very dangerous play in the slot, and instead of just hacking it away, he made a nice pass over, I think it was to Draisaitl, and then Draisaitl sent in I think Savoie on a breakaway, if I'm not mistaken, someone on the breakaway. And but it all started because Regula was just very calm clearing the puck over to Draisaitl. And he showed that tonight. It was some better puck moving, and that was really good to see. I thought Darnell Nurse was a tower of power out there. He and
Yep.
Ekholm. So Kulak and Emerson had a few iffy moments, but I didn't fail anyone tonight. I would feel crummy failing someone in a blowout game.
Yep.
But the top D men all played, and the top four guys all played well.
Well, you mentioned Darnell Nurse. According to Natural Stat Trick, 5-on-5, high danger scoring chances, Nurse was 6-4, 1 against. So when you get that from your D-man, it's pretty good.
He kept a clean sheet at even strength, as I like to call it. Not one mistake on a grade A shot against at even strength, which Darnell Nurse has to start putting up those zeros again and again and again. Like if he can do it every second game, that's what they need from him. Is just to shut it down on defense and to focus on that, make that his whole game, and he can still win over Edmonton Oilers fans. I think the vast majority of fans want that guy to succeed, and they just are waiting for him to consistently bring solid defensive hockey and quick puck movement. That's all.
PK was good again tonight. 3 for 3. They've been good, really good 3 games in a row, and they got a shorty tonight. So with the Oilers power play, and I think that pulls the PK back kind of within the middle of the pack in the NHL. Special teams win in the NHL. So if they can keep their PK on an even keel, they'll be just fine.
Alrighty, Kurt, let's leave it there. Thank you for talking tonight.
Thanks, Dave.
And thanks everybody for tuning in yet again. Again, we have a lot of gratitude that we have such fantastic people who follow the podcast, and the wisest, smartest, sanest hockey fans in the world. We are lucky to have your attention now and then. Thanks. And in the meantime, and in between time, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.